Hey y'all, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Tom with RV Texas, y'all.
Welcome back. Today we're celebrating a very special 100th video. This is our 100th video on YouTube.
Yeah, so we decided to do something really special.
So we'd like to introduce you to Eric and Laurel. They've been camping next to us for the last several days, and they are full-timers for
6 years.
6 years, so we all can learn a lot. And they have a blog, ravenandchickadee.com, and we'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, it is real good. But we'll talk more about it, and just stay tuned.
How did you get on the road? You've been on the road for 6 years.
For 6 years.
How did that come about for y'all?
Well, we've always loved to travel and started out with a tent, like a lot of folks do, right? Mm-hmm. And then upgraded after a lot of years of that to a little casita, a 17-foot casita.
Oh, well, those were made in Texas.
Those are made in Texas, yeah. And that was wonderful. We had a really good time. How long did we have that trailer?
We had that, I believe 5 years.
5 years,
yeah.
And did a lot of trips with that. We'd do like a month at a time. I mean, that was big when we got to where we were doing a month or so at a time.
Right.
And then we got an Arctic Fox, a 21-foot. And when we got that baby, we were like, wow, we could full-time in this. Because we'd always kind of had this dream. We'd get out places and feel like, gosh, we've just gotten started. We're not ready to turn around and come back across the country yet. We just want to keep on going. So we started having the idea of staying out longer and maybe full-time. And so that's actually, we started out with our with our Bigfoot trailer, the 21-foot. And then after a year and a half, upgraded to the Arctic Fox, the 27-foot. But what really got us started was, I think we just got sick of getting home and packing and unpacking. It was so dang much work.
I get it.
Oh, my gosh.
That's funny. Yeah, we talk about the same thing. We tell people it's different when you're part-timing because that's such a time-consuming thing.
Huge.
To pack and unpack. And now, boy, we're always packed.
We're always ready to go. Yeah. And our trips started to get longer and longer, and the last time I think we did 2.5, maybe 3 months, and that's when we decided that we wanted to do it full time.
So now you've been on the road for 6 years. And
6
by the way,
years.
y'all, we're sitting in their Arctic Fox right now. They were nice enough. It got a little chilly outside.
Yeah, we were going to do it outside.
And we were going to do it outside, you know, when there was light. But then we got busy talking, and now there's no light, and it's chilly. So thank you for having us.
Oh, you're
this
welcome.
This is
in our
fantastic. I love it.
Well, it's more spacious than our RV, so.
So now 6 years in.
6 years in.
What are some of your, I guess, favorite things about living on the road?
I'm glad you didn't start off with what are your favorite places. People ask us that all the time, and we're like, because they'll say, what's your favorite place? And we're like, how about our favorite 10 or 25? You know,
Right.
It's so hard. So our favorite things about traveling full-time? Oh my gosh.
Just the new experiences constantly. We're always looking for new places. Some places we like to go back to, but it's every day brings up something different. It's not a routine. I mean, we do some things that are routine, but all the places we go to, you know, maybe 6 or 7 different places in a month, and lots of times it's new places, and every so often we take our route into some totally new places, and so there's plenty to do. We're always discovering new places. And
we figured too, we really love hiking and biking and kayaking, and when we were in our stationary home, we'd get out and do that as often as possible, but still sometimes maybe we'd only get out and kayak twice a year.
Right.
Because that was, you know, what was close by. And now we figure we probably kayak, oh my gosh, our kayak has been from Key West to the San Juan Islands in Washington State, and every swamp and bayou and lake and river and everything else in between. And biking, it would be the same way. You know, we'd go out and bike in our hometown, which is a horrible place to bike in Southern Oregon because it's so hilly and just has this monstrous mountain on the way back to our house. So it'd always be like, no, I don't want to go out and bike because it's such a nightmare. But we bike all the time on the road now. We bike several times a week usually.
Wow.
And then hike. So every day we're out hiking or biking.
That's really neat. Now, a question I've got is, our viewers out there know that we're selling our house and we selling everything we've got, you know, and we're just in the RV. How have y'all done it? Do you still have a house?
We still have a house. We love our home in Southern Oregon in Ashland, and we love our community of friends there. And to get buy back into that little town would be really expensive. So we kept our home just in case we want to go back there, and we rented it out. And the same folks have been in there for the last 6 years renting it.
So that works out good.
It works out great. And we rented it
great.
furnished, and we rented the smallest storage unit possible that we have all of our personal things in, like our artwork that we've collected over the years in our travels, and you know, things like just like some family mementos, things like that.
Right. And that's where, you know, everybody does it differently. I mean, and there's no correct answer to it. And so when y'all told us that y'all had rented out your house, I thought that's awesome. Though, I mean, you didn't have to give it up. Luckily, financially, you didn't have to give it up. Right. You know, in our case, kind of financially, we needed to give it up. We still owed money on it. So, but that's, I mean, it's neat that at one point down the road, if you want to go back, you can.
We can. And because we love our hometown still. We really love where we live, and we love our community of friends. I mean, in fact, our friends are always saying, when are you going to come back? When are you going to come back and stay? Because we circle back through every year for about a month to do, you know, all the appointments and take care of our taxes and check in on our house and go visit the storage unit. I mean, in some ways, honestly, we've talked about it, it would be easier to just have gotten rid of everything. In some ways, you'd feel more free. Because we've had a couple of things come up on our house, like a big flood in it a couple of years ago that we had to deal with. And that's not fun. You know, you just would rather be completely free from it. But we're still happy that we have it.
We are. And there are so many, as you said, Tom, there's so many different ways of doing it, and everybody just has to find what works for them. If it feels best to get rid of everything and just be free of that, then that's what you need to do. But in our case, we're doing it this way, and it's working out great.
It's working out great.
Yeah. That's awesome. And another thing that we've been talking about y'all's situation is, it sounds like y'all kind of you're doing it the way we hope to do it. I mean, we're just now starting. Stacy and I on our full-time journey. We're babies compared to them. I mean, but it sounds like your journey it's not like you don't care about Walmart parking lots and boondocking really isn't your thing.
It depends.
Okay.
If it's someplace beautiful and that we really want to be there, and it puts us in the middle of an area where we want to do a lot of hiking or something, yes, we'll do some boondocking, like along Highway 395 in the Sierra Nevada. It's amazing there, and there's some BLM land that is just spectacular. So we'll do that. But
it's not a very common thing for us to do that. You know.
So where do you mostly like to camp when you're traveling?
Places like this, Galveston State Park, state parks, Corps of Engineers, county parks. We found county parks are a really great alternative a lot of times. Like say in California, where the state parks are now $50 and $60 a night, the county parks come in at about $30 a night or so, and they're really nice and they're in good locations. We love national parks, of course. And like we were talking about the other day, one of the reasons we chose to stay with a smaller rig, a 27-foot rig, is because that's what'll fit into the national parks.
Yeah, and that's what we've told so many. That's why we went with the smallest diesel pusher we could get, because we want to get into as many places as we can.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a worse scenario of having to be on the outside looking in because we're too big.
Right.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, the experience is really different if you can actually stay in the park than if you have to stay outside someplace in an RV park. And some RV parks are totally great, and we do stay in some private ones from time to time, but our preference is to be inside of a park, national park or a national monument or a state park, whatever.
Yeah, right in the middle of everything. Like you said, we don't want to be on the outside looking in or having to drive in to do all the things we want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one thing, because you hear about sometimes the long wait times to get into some of the parks, depending on the season and things.
Absolutely.
What's been some of your biggest challenges since you've been on the road?
Hair appointments.
Hey,
I'm not kidding.
I believe it.
Oh, it's like, really? I have had the most interesting all the way along. I'll be like, really? Okay, well, I guess I'm going with that for a while. You just have to kind of get over it. And I figure a lot of the time I'm wearing a bike helmet or a sun hat or something anyway. So.
Now, what about laundry?
Laundry's a big pain. I hate public laundromats for the most part. We've found some really wonderful ones. Yeah. But laundry, that's not a fun thing. So I say have lots of underwear. That's what my...
Well, that's a concession.
You shouldn't have thrown all those away.
I went down to 3 pair.
No, but not big guy underwear. It's got to be like, stuff that, like what is it, the kind that I bought you for Christmas that it washes really and dries really quick? I'm serious. What's ex officio? Because there was one time we were at a park in California and he stayed home to bake his underwear in the oven because it needed to dry.
RVer problems.
You can edit that out.
Yeah. No, there's no way we're editing that out. But I mean,
so yeah, laundry.
This is one of the biggest concessions we made when we went down to the RV we have now. We have no washer and dryer. We did have washer and dryer in the RV we had before.
But we wanted to go smaller.
Right.
And so to go smaller, that's one of the things we gave up.
Yeah. So do you miss it?
So far, it has not been.
It hasn't been a big issue yet.
But it's still early, so we'll see. Yeah. And people ask us that all the time, and it's one of those things. I keep telling people, wait and see.
Wait and see.
And I think to me, it's going to be part of the adventure.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I'm going to feel like I'm in college again, But if I'm in college, I can just save it up and take it home to my mom. I'm not going to be able to do that anymore.
Well, one good thing is you can go and do it all at once. Yeah, right. Right. It's good you can go and do it all at once, though.
Well, that's true. And that is,
absolutely.
When we had the RV that we had that had the washer and dryer, it's a little tiny load, and it took forever to dry, and it would shake the whole RV.
It really wasn't that good.
No.
We didn't feel like we were really giving up that much, honestly, by giving it up.
I don't think so either. And we just look, but this is, I actually look on Yelp for reviews of laundromats.
Oh, so there you go. I hadn't thought about that.
Wow, there's a new tip, and it's a new tip for us. Yelp for laundromats.
Yeah, so you can get a decent laundromat. Not
that's
nasty.
That's good to know. Yeah,
that's real good to know. I mean, that's a tip we just learned.
Now, we talked a little bit about maybe music festivals and things like that. How has RVing worked into exploring some of those fun events?
Fantastic.
It's been great.
Absolutely fantastic.
There's generally something going on in various parts of the country all the time, and we take a look at where we're going. Sometimes we go to some place purposely. Like this year we're going to Savannah, and we've gone to the Sisters Music Festival in Oregon a couple of times because we know it's happening when it's happening, and we know we're going to be in that area. But there's there's different kinds of music all over the country, and it's just one of the fun experiences to go to those.
Yeah, we've been twice in New Orleans to the French Quarter Festival, and that is a total blast.
Now, where do you stay when you go to that?
To New Orleans? Well, we stay at Bayou-Signette. It's a state park that's across the river.
Okay.
And then, because we'd rather stay there in the state park and drive, how many miles is it to get to?
About 12 miles to
this really cute little...
Algiers Point.
Yep.
And there's a 10-minute ferry that goes across to the French Quarter from there.
Oh, that's
And it's
perfect.
like $3.
Yeah.
Oh, now that is awesome. Because we were looking just not long ago, because there's an RV park that's right there in the French Quarter.
Expensive and not great. No.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that's one of the things that you know, when you're traveling for a week or a weekend, you know, the higher dollar things don't seem like such a big deal if it's for a limited number of days. But when you're living on the road, you have to readjust that. You know, so that's why, you know, we've just stayed in our first county park recently, and our first city park recently, and they were both great experiences.
Yes.
And so we're gonna, you know, try to seek out more of those things, so that, you know, because it's the dollar signs add up quickly.
Adds up really quickly. Yeah.
Now, as y'all travel, about how long do you like to stay? People travel for different lengths and stay at places for different times. What's been kind of the sweet spot for y'all as you've...
That's a good way to put it, the sweet spot. I'd say 5 to 7 days.
5 to 7 days.
Depending on where it is. If it's interesting. Yeah.
It could be only 3 days, but 5 to 7 days is if an area is really something that really interests us, and we try to travel on traveling days not more than 150 to 200 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I like that rule.
So it's a you know, it's a good pace.
Yeah.
And very rarely do we ever stay one night any place, and it's only because we have to get someplace.
We don't like one night stands.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. This thing's getting better by the day.
I really don't. I mean, well, sometimes if we do it, if we have a one night stand, we like to be able to pull in someplace and not have to even unhook the trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not someplace that we want to go and do anything except maybe do a walk around the campground just to get some exercise in and then head out the next morning.
As part-timers, that's what we would do. Like if we were going to California, we went to Disneyland one year, or a couple times, but we just, like in Arizona, we pulled in and we just didn't unhook.
Yeah.
You know, we stayed the night. That's really all we did, so we could get out early in the morning, too.
Yep, exactly.
And we may not even push out the slides. We may, if we can do it even without pushing out the slides, we'll just sleep and then go.
That makes it even easier.
Yeah.
But to me, part of, you know, living in your RV is being able to explore those things along the way.
Absolutely.
So you were talking a little bit earlier about some of the things you do to plan for your trips. Now, I know some people just like to fly by the seat of their pants. Laurel and Eric are not those people, from what we understand.
Years ago we were, but not anymore, because there are so many more people RVing now, and there's so much more competition for prime spots, the kind of places that we want to stay. We don't want to get skunked.
Right.
You know, so we want to be able to stay where we want to stay, and you have to plan ahead, which is because sometimes that can be really exhausting, quite honestly.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. It's like this huge jigsaw puzzle, and it's one of those jigsaw puzzles where all the pieces are like the same color, and you're like, oh, okay, trying to fit it together. It's all sky. You're trying to fit it together, like, oh my God, okay.
But you know, to me, what's good about it though, and if you're taking a regular vacation, you got to go somewhere and come back. But at least in the way y'all are doing it, and hopefully we can do it, is going, you don't have to necessarily come back anytime soon, so you can really plan to get to a place and take your time getting there. There's no I've got 14 days to spend and I've got to go all the way up to A and come back home.
Right.
And so that does, I guess, help. It doesn't necessarily make it easier to plan, but at least you're not, you have more flexibility on where you pick. If this spot isn't available, maybe you can go to this spot.
Right. That's true. But it's easier. I think the planning is easier. We were talking about this earlier today, that when we've been there are a lot of places in the country that we know really well. I mean, the Pacific Northwest is our home. It's like our backyard. So we know that area really well, including the San Juan Islands and including Vancouver Island, Canada, because we spent almost 6 weeks there a couple of years ago, and that was fabulous.
I bet.
And we know the Southwest really well, and we know Texas really well, and we know Florida really well, because these are the routes that we've traveled. But when we start going into new territory, like last year we did the Midwest and across the plains, going back to Lopez Island for the summer where we camp host, that was all brand new. Now we know it, you know, so it's kind of easy. But this year we're going up to Nova Scotia, up to the Maritimes, so Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, and that's all brand new for us. And we're going up through the Finger Lakes region, and that's all brand new for us. And so it's like this huge learning curve.
It takes a lot.
Huge
a
amount
lot more time just to figure out distances, where we want to stay, the timing. Weekends and holidays are a particular concern when you're staying in a state park or a national park.
Big time.
It's big time. You really have to plan ahead.
Yeah, they book up way in advance.
I mean, sometimes a year in advance.
Right.
So it's challenging sometimes that we're here in Galveston, but we're thinking about the Maritimes and kind of living in that a little bit while we're making this plan of figuring out what we're doing, and then writing our blog, which is always behind. So sometimes I'll look out the window and think, where am I?
Well, I think it's obvious to say that Laurel and Eric experience life rather than just live it day to day. And that is what we want to do.
Exactly.
Sure. I mean, and we're doing that now, not to the degree they're doing it yet, but we're getting there soon.
So what do you think, if you could give folks who are thinking about doing it or new like us a tip about kind of what to think about in this life? Or
I would say do it. I mean, absolutely do it. Just, I know that's like a huge, big general tip, but don't hold back. The thing, when we started thinking about full timing, I mean, we had the idea and we kicked it around for a while, and then actually I think I sort of had the idea and then I chickened out a couple of times because I thought, I don't want to leave all of our friends and our community and our home, our sweet little home that we've put so much work into, and all of our gardens. So we went back and forth for a couple of years, and finally Eric said, "You were driving me crazy." He said, "You know what? We're going to decide if we're going to do it, we're doing this." And I thought, the way that I reassured myself was, I thought, you know what? I can always go back. I can always change my mind.
Right.
You know, I can always, but if I don't do this now, I'm going to regret, there's going to come a day that I'm going to regret it. Because the day will come when you can't do this.
Right.
You get too old, or something falls off, you know, I mean, some body part, there's something's going to happen.
Right.
And you aren't going to be able to do it.
Right.
So if you have any desire to do it and the ability to do it, go for it.
That's awesome.
It is it's been the most fulfilling thing.
It's an incredible experience to be out in nature and go places and just explore this country that we have here.
And you know, like we were saying earlier, I bet your list is getting longer with every year that you travel of things that you want to see. It's getting longer. We've also made a real good dent in our original list, but it's so awesome that there's so much more that we want to do, and we're really excited.
And this is most of it in America, you know.
Yeah, most of it in Canada and
America
and the U.S. Yeah, there's a lifetime of stuff to do here, and we like digging deep. We like going places and really getting into the culture and the nature, and we don't skim the surface. The other thing I was going to say, when you asked about if there was one tip, I'd say go as small as you can, comfortably, with a rig. People get into these gigantic rigs, and I can't tell you how many friends we've made on the road who are downsizing, or who are saying, "Wow, I wish we weren't saddled with this enormous rig."
Because it's expense.
Yeah.
It's a big expense.
Yeah.
And obviously the depreciation will knock you out. So if you start way big, you may not be able to downsize because you could be in an upside down situation.
Oh, right.
Well, but it really
tough.
limits you on where you can camp.
Well, absolutely. But I'm saying at the point when you realize, oh wait, that is too big, you might not be able to downsize at that point.
Right.
I mean, just because everybody's situation is different.
Right.
Now, you're 27 feet.
Right. With a really deep slide out.
This is a great slide.
This is the best. I can do my yoga there. You know, it's...
Yeah, I mean, you've got all kinds of space in here.
It's great.
So, has there been anywhere that you guys wanted to go that you couldn't go because of your size?
Oh, yeah. There've been, I mean, not much. But there's places that we used to camp with a tent that we couldn't get into now. Yeah. There's little places on the river, you know, on the Rogue River.
There's a few, can think of a couple. Sometimes some of the national parks and national monuments have kind of smaller sites. And we've been to Great Basin, I think.
Right.
3 times. And
national park, yeah.
It's a national park. We love it there. And I think the last time we went, we didn't camp in the campground because there was only maybe 2 or 3 sites that would actually fit us because of level and because of
they have a bad problem with level there.
Because of length. Yeah. Because of length. But,
yeah.
So
it's rare though for us.
It's rare at 27 feet not to be able to get into places.
Well, one last thing that I wanted to ask. You've done it for 6 years now. Do you see an end in sight?
No.
I mean, look at there. I mean, no.
She's looking
I hope none of my friends at home are watching this. Y'all don't pay attention to that.
I mean, we can see how happy you guys are. I mean, it shows, and it gets me more excited because I feel like we've made a phenomenal decision. When we see a couple like y'all, it's like, wow. Do I think we made the right move? For sure.
You guys did.
Yeah.
And how are like this? I mean, we've met you guys and we feel like we've got all this, right? And we're just gonna have to say goodbye.
That's the hardest thing. But you know what? We have made so many like really good friends on the road, and we meet up. We make plans and we meet up in our travels. We have, we have several sets of friends that we're going to be meeting up with in Florida in different places, and then kayaking. We're going to meet up with some friends in the Okefenokee in a couple of weeks, and so it's just all over. We stay in touch with each other.
So it's like until we see you again
until
on the road.
Until we see you again.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
That's awesome because that's the only thing I'm a little bit worried about, because it's like you really find good synergy with people and it's like-minded people, and then boom,
and then you're moving on.
Yeah.
That is a hard thing, and that does make me sad. Yeah. But we keep in touch. Blogs are a great way to keep in touch, and then of course, email or text or whatever, and then we just make plans. I mean, we'll be back we come through Texas once or twice a year. So if you guys are in Texas, we'll be seeing you here.
Oh,
we're usually here.
Yeah.
We love Texas.
And speaking of the blog, tell everybody what it is again.
RavenandChickadee.com.
Yeah.
And we'll put a link, and they have all kinds of pictures and write-ups on places that they've been and fun things they've done and places they've stayed. And
Laurel can write. I'm here to tell you, she's good. She's good. So you will love.
Yeah,
her.
you definitely follow the link. Check them out.
And on our website, we will also put some links to the blog for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, thanks for having us in your home.
Yes.
Our palatial home.
It's been wonderful meeting you guys and sharing experiences. And
hopefully we can have more experiences to share with you guys next time we see you.
You already do. You have so much amazing information.
Well, we appreciate that.
You guys are offering a great service to people.
Well, thanks. We're trying every day. We try to make it a little better.
But again, like we tell everybody, this is the best part about RVing. It's the people you meet.
Absolutely.
That's the truth.
Yeah. That is the truth. I mean, they're talking about great experiences and great places to go. Absolutely, that's wonderful. But the people you meet is just top notch.
Absolutely. So thank y'all again.
Yes.
Thanks for sitting down with us and visiting on camera and talking about underwear in the oven. And thank y'all for joining us.
Absolutely.
And until next time, y'all, keep experiencing life.
Hit
Don't
like.
just sit by. Yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do, because next time will be the 101st video.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a prize, right?
Yeah. Never know.
And until next time, y'all, safe travels.
And happy camping.
Bye.
Bye.